I'm Bill Allen, and I am dyslexic. Dyslexia posed a severe problem for me in my adult life, and I had no idea of what I was dealing with. I had 42 jobs in 20 years. I didn't know what was going on. The biggest challenge that dyslexia has presented for me is depression. And I would do just about anything to help someone skip or eliminate the depressionary episodes that I've had to deal with. And I think that comes through education, being able to communicate through reading and writing. Depression, not just for me, but what causes depression is stress. And other people handle stress because they're able to communicate real well with reading and writing and math, those tools that you learn in school. So I've learned how valuable education can be. At the age of 42, I read a book called The Gift of Dyslexia. And that book taught me that I thought in pictures. And I said, doesn't everybody think in pictures? And so I read more about it, and I learned that abstract words were the challenge. The tutoring I did was very successful. I enjoyed it immensely because I let my clients come to me. I did no advertising, and I felt that Providence was involved. And so the ones that came, they recognized they had a problem and wanted a solution. And I knew from just a couple of simple tests that all they needed to do was learn how to master or manage the mind's eye, and then make the abstract words concrete. And then a couple of reading exercises, and off to the races they would go. And I've got kids that were functionally illiterate and now are in college prep schools. I've got kids that could barely read that have graduated from college. I had numerous instances where I'm working with a child and we're doing the reading technique in front of the parent, and I look over at the parent and the parent's crying just because they're seeing their child read a book or read a book from cover to cover for the first time as a second or a third grader. It got to be something that I just expected. The reason why I wanted to create the MELT techniques in the books was because I knew that there are tens of millions of people out there that are suffering from the learning disability associated with dyslexia, and they're getting very little help. And the program that I was involved with was like a drop in the bucket. To give you an example, I would work with 25 to 40 kids a year, whereas with my books, I can reach 25 to 40 kids an hour, maybe even less. I decided to do something on my own because again, Providence prevailed, if I can use that word. I had read a book, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, and it helped a writer or an artist unblock the areas they were experiencing. And I was starting to write, and I'd been involved in writing for about 3 years. And with Julia's book, one of the things that she was keen on is once a week you would have an artist date. And being a businessman, I couldn't go downtown and look at the museum art and say, this is really fulfilling. I actually would feel guilty. So I took on projects around the house, and I wasn't involved in pressure washing the fence more than 2 or 3 hours. I mean, it's a pretty boring task of waving the wand of a pressure washer. And I was real quiet, and it just came to me. I could put what it looks like, what it sounds like, and what it means all in a book format. And from there, I had the obstacle of finding somebody that could do structural graphic artwork, and I was extremely fortunate. I found a woman by the name of Heather Kramer, and actually she was my children's classroom teacher in Sunday school. And I just knew that, the artwork that she got out of the kids and that she did, I just knew that she was such a rare talent. And if you look at the books, the artwork will sell the books by themselves almost. The pride I get out of my work is watching a student who his parents expected never to be able to make it to college and graduate, and not only graduate, but excel. Or hearing a seventh grader is making straight A's, or hearing a parent saying it's the best investment I've ever made in my life. And that includes monetary investment or emotional investment. So you go from a troubled child to a child that has confidence in themselves and their ability to do things. My personal struggles with dyslexia not only helped me with empathy and compassion for the dyslexic and working with them one-on-one, but more so in the building of the Learning to Read program. I have been working on this project for 8 years because I know it works and I know I can touch millions of people in a short period of time.